and make him explain the truth about my target status once and for all. Hiro? Yeah? Remember how you said our love goes beyond labels and categories? Of course. There is a category I fit into, isn't there? Miki, no apologize, Hiro. It's too late for that. Just tell me the truth, because I need to know. I need to know if there's really any hope for you and me. If there was ever any hope for you and me. So tell me, Hiro. Tell me if all these sacrifices I've made, all these risks I've taken, if it's all been done in the name of something that was doomed from the very start. I can only tell you what I know, Miki. That you are a never find. That love is something you are preordained to experience only briefly, before it is taken away from you forever, by forces beyond your control. I've known this about you for a long time, Miki. I knew it even before we first met. Then why did you let me keep pursuing you? You knew it was hopeless. Why did I try to stop it, Miki? Don't you remember? I pushed away as forcefully as I knew how. I tried so hard to stop this whole crazy thing from... What are we doing here, Hiro? I've thrown my whole life away for this, and now you tell me it can't last? Why didn't you say something months ago? Why didn't you... Because I was afraid. I was afraid. Don't you understand? Don't you understand that? Afraid that if you knew the truth, you give up on me. You give up on love altogether and resigned yourself to spending the rest of your life alone. I couldn't bear for you to do that, Miki. For selfish reasons, I'll admit it. I wanted to be with you, just be with you. I knew that in time it would all come to an end, but that didn't matter to me. And as strange as it may seem, as strange as it may sound, it still doesn't matter to me. Even if we've only got one more day, it'll all have been worth it, as far as I'm concerned. I don't regret the sacrifices I've made, Miki. I hope you don't either. I need to be alone for a while. For the first time since coming to Yamada-san's house, I walked back down the road to Matsuyama, the nearest village. Hiro had warned me never to go there, allowing villagers to become familiar with our faces. He said it was simply too risky. But I was in no mood to follow Hiro's orders. It was time to reassert control over my own life. And if the choices I made were in defiance of Hiro, so much the better. When I got to town, I went into the local restaurant, ordered a hot tea, and found a table in the back where I could be alone with my thoughts. I'm trying to save you, Reika. I'm trying to save you, Reika had said to Hiro all those weeks ago. Save you from wrecking your life for nothing. I've been so sure she was wrong about that. Now, though, it seemed all too accurate to say that Hiro was wrecking his life for nothing, and that, indeed, he wasn't the only one. Irashamai? What? Irashimais? Please sit anywhere you like. No thanks. We're just here to ask a few questions. Questions? Yes, we are wondering if you've seen those two people in the area recently. Teenagers. A boy and a girl. Hold on, I'll get my glasses. Can't see a thing without them. Deliverers. So why are you looking for those kids? For these kids? Are they in trouble? You could say that, ma'am. They couldn't see me from where they were sitting. Funny, I usually keep them in this drawer right here. But once the woman found her glasses, it would be all over. I searched the place for an exit other than the front door. The only one I could see was through the kitchen. It was a bit of a gamble. Make that a serious gamble. But if I could, remember, I left them in the kitchen. I remember, I left them in the kitchen. I know I had them on when I was going over the crab meat croquette recipe. This could take a while, gentlemen. I'm terribly sorry. No rush, man. I couldn't just sit there waiting. If either of those men started poking around the place, they have me cornered. I paid for my 300 yen tea with a 1,000 yen note. Waited until both the men had their backs turned to me, and as quietly as I could slipped into the bathroom. Oh, here they are. Okay then, let's have a look at those photos. Sometimes the most important decisions in life aren't yours to make. Sometimes they are made for you by other people. Sometimes, in fact, they are made years and years ago by architects somewhere in Hokkaido who decide, in spite of the added expense, that a bathroom needs a window. I ran back to Hiro as fast as I could, heart pounding, half crazed with fear, but suddenly blessed with an incredible clarity of purpose, freed for the moment, anyway, from all the doubts I had about Hiro and I. All that mattered now was saving him, saving us from being discovered by those men. When I found Hiro back at the river, I told him everything that had happened. Just as it had happened, every awful moment of it. He said nothing for a very long time. When at last he spoke, it was not with fear or even apprehension, but only a very grave and solemn seriousness. Miki, things are about to get harder for us, a lot harder. The sacrifices you've made up until now are simply nothing compared to what lies ahead. If you want us to stay together, you've got a choice. You can go back into town, turn yourself in, and by doing so avoid an awful lot of hardship. Or you can stay with me and push your body to its limits, but nonetheless still run the risk of us being captured. It could happen within a year, a month, or even just a few days. I wish there were more time for you to make this decision, Miki, but there's not. Trust me. Deliverers are descending on the whole area at this very moment. If we are going to get away from them in time, you've got to decide this in a matter of minutes, seconds if possible. And so, with what little time I had left, I searched for reasons to keep up the fight, reasons to make even greater sacrifices in the name of staying at Hiro's side. But all I could hear were voices guiding me in the opposite direction. I can only tell you what I know, Miki, that you are never find. If Emra says that true love will elude Miki in the end, then on some level it must be so. Was there really any point in delaying the inevitable? Wouldn't it be more logical and sensible to stop running away from reality, to stop flailing my arms against that which Hiro himself has said was preordained, and accept the simple truth that I was fighting a losing battle. Sometimes the most important decisions in life are yours to make. And if you're like me, you'll find that being logical and sensible doesn't have anything to do with it. So, how many seconds do I have left to make this decision? How about 5? Perfect. Hiro explained that he and Yamada-san had discussed the possibility of deliverers coming to Matsuyama looking for us, and had taken the precaution of devising an escape plan. There was a small cave deep in the woods, one that ancient hunters had used as a shelter. If Hiro and I could get there and survive the elements for as long as possible, the deliverers might eventually call off the search and leave the area. All we had to do was run back to Yamada-san's house and get the necessary supplies. It was as good a plan as we could have hoped for, I suppose, but it hinged on one crucial fact, that when we got back to the house,